Oh, okay. Here we go. Business.
Sorry, guys.
Booker
quick
texted
break.
me, and he goes, "Can you do this date in 2 weeks?" Somebody canceled. I'm the prime person to hit up. So-
You'll be free. The old "you'll be free" text. I love that.
and I love it when
It
I'm
is
like,
always funny because you're like, I do like to be asked, and I want the gig, but it's like this guy will be free.
Yeah, come
you know
on,
what's even
dude.
worse? I did this recently where I filled in on a show last minute like that, where someone else canceled. And that's how they introduced me on the show. Like, your next comic, he wasn't on the flyer. It was supposed to be another guy, but our old headliner backed out. This guy is so funny. And I go, isn't that great? We go, this guy, he was available.
Yeah,
boy, oh
dude.
boy, was he free.
they don't. Why again? Nobody.
It cracks me up.
It's so funny because one person in the crowd would have known that. If,
Right,
If they
100%,
didn't
if
need
that.
to say anything.
Yeah.
There's no point of saying like, don't always break the fourth
This guy's
wall.
credit, oh boy, was he free tonight.
Yeah, and also let me choose when I want to break the fourth wall. Don't do it. Don't pull the rug out from under
he
me.
had nothing going on.
Yeah, let
and I
me
also want to
say
be like,
that.
I was busy. I had something
Yeah.
else. I
Hey
can't.
man, I canceled a bar show for
Yeah,
this.
right.
You don't know. I could have been bombing right now in my own city. Instead, I came to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's sad, but hopefully we'll see.
Yeah, it's sad. Things are not going well. Anyway, what's going on with you? Where you been? Oh, you been?
I was
You've
out.
been home.
I'm so glad to be
Locked up.
alive. Yeah, I had the flu. I know everyone's fucking getting it, but I had it. It was.
You're like,
so-
I had it before it was cool.
No, but it's
like a hipster.
I also I didn't like. Everyone who gets it has been real quiet about it. I was like, I was telling everybody. I was like, I got it. I'm out because I wanted. It's like it's
you
one
want
of those,
people to know you're not. It's not that you're a loser and you're
Yes.
not out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I had FOMO for like certain things, and I was like, nah, got the flu.
I
fucked
got the
me
flu.
up.
You were telling everybody.
And I was like,
you
I
were
know
like
I-
Ferris Bueller. Be like, tell people I'm dying, bro.
I also was making it a point to be like, no, I'm really healthy. Like, I'll probably beat this in a couple days. And then it just kept delaying longer and longer. And I'm like, man.
After a while, I thought you were lying because it had been
Yeah.
like 5 days, and I was like, oh, what? Vic still has the flu?
But then I looked it up and I was like, oh, they're like, oh, it could take like 2 weeks to go away.
Yeah.
Like, I literally can't afford to take off
because
2 weeks.
we don't get paid time off. Yeah.
This is barely a
I
job.
cannot afford.
Yeah, it's a gig
But
economy.
that is like a tough thing about like working a job like this, where like you can afford like I'll take a week off if
Yes.
I'm really sick.
Oh, yeah.
But like if in that week you had a gig that paid like one
private-
that was supposed to like support your whole month, you're like.
I'm
Looks
doing
like
it.
I'm yeah.
Looks like everyone's getting the flu today.
Especially if it's like a corporate that pays really well, they don't know you. They don't know how your voice is supposed to sound.
Yeah.
Like they don't know I'm congested,
Man,
bro. Everybody's getting the flu.
They think they're watching your YouTube clip on like fast forward. Like,
Right.
he was like a lot higher pitched over there.
But if it is like if it's in like a big ballroom and you're like far away, I'm like, I'll do it, dude. I'll stand over here.
Yeah, because then you just talk real slow. You
Right.
just take Dayquil,
I've done-
NyQuil
dude,
at the same time.
I was talking to a comic friend about this recently, Sperry. The first time her and I ever met, we did a show this is years ago, at a rehab center.
Oh, I remember that show.
And I
Yes.
had the flu like terrible. And I was like, do you remember when you used to be sick and you could still go out and do stuff? It was like pre-pandemic when it was like, you're just sick.
Now you're like, I'm
like,
going to kill somebody.
I
if
remember
leave the house.
having the best set, one of the best sets of my life, and
Flu
I
game.
felt like Jordan's flu game,
Yes.
where I was like in this haze, and I'm like, am I just not aware of what's going on right now, or am I actually killing?
that. And it's one of those things where I never drink before stand up. There's sometimes if you show up to a gig, you didn't know you had comedy and you've been drinking,
Yeah.
and then you like get asked last minute,
Yeah.
and you say yes. I've had a couple of these where I just roll up, I'm lit,
Yeah.
and I go on murder, and
Yeah.
I don't know what I said.
Right.
I'm
That's
like,
hilarious.
I'm like, which
You're like,
slur
yeah,
did I
that's-
use? Like, I don't know what the
You're
happened.
like, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I'm not listening back to it. That's between me and God. What happened up there?
Me and God in the audience that night.
Me and all 6 of my gods. That's between
6 of my gods with 6 of their
Vishnu.
arms each. But I worry about that because Patrice O'Neill had a thing. He's like, one time went on stage drunk, and he's like, I had the best set of my life. He's like, I never drank before a show again because he's like, it was too much power to know that
Yep.
was the thing he could do.
Right.
Because then you get reliant. You become fucking Burt Kreischer, who's doing great, but you become
Yeah,
like.
yeah, you become rich,
Yeah,
famous.
yeah. So, but it is a thing of like, imagine being like, I have to chug a beer every time I perform.
It's funny. I was down in Nashville for the weekend, and I was talking to a comic down there who had run into Bert, or was like talking to Bert at one of the bars like on Broadway, which
Yeah,
is like their
yeah.
big like party street, and he was like, let's call it like a Monday or Tuesday night. And he's like, oh, he was fully like blackout, looking right through me. And he's like, and I was like, it's nice to hear that like it's not just a brand for that guy. Yeah. He's living it, bro. He is living it.
That's the thing that's so funny because the running joke on their podcast is just he's like, man, I'm getting healthy. I haven't drank for 3 days, and I'm like, I sound like this now.
Yeah,
because I literally after
took a week off.
I took a week off, and I was telling before we started recording, I was like, man, I haven't drank in a week and a half, and I'm like, yeah, I've been sick for 9 days. It's not like I did anything.
I deserve a chip.
Yeah,
I did not drink for a whole week that I was violently ill.
And then
I was taking medication you cannot drink with.
I literally was like, man, I'm proud of I really did some good shit. I felt so
you
like,
laid in bed and watched.
Like I decided that. Like I was like, that was me. I took volition. I took control of my life. And then as soon as I'm better, I'm like, what are we doing tonight?
There are people who would have the flu and still be like, I'm drinking.
Yeah. So there is a level that I didn't. The depravity it does stop.
Yeah. So what did you do when you're forced? We were kind of saying this before. Like when we're go all the time. When you are forced to take time off, are you like, oh, here's some stuff. I want to watch these movies. I want to catch up on this. I want to like read. Like,
and
what
then
is
you
it?
realize that list is one day's worth.
One day,
one full day's worth of stuff. Because we like how I consume media now is like I'll be like, oh, I have 20 minutes to watch this before I go to this thing. So like it takes me 4 or 5 times like sessions to watch a movie. Mm-hmm. So when I'm home all day, I was like, okay, let me go through the list of stuff I want to see, and it's great. Initially, you're like, oh, no plans at night. I can write. I can do whatever. Obviously, didn't do any of that. But I was like, because I'm like,
did none of that.
I was bedridden for like 2 days. I was literally just fucked up. And I felt like shit. I just kept like going in the shower, like trying to get warm.
Crying.
Like, it was like I was in rehab.
You were sick,
I was like shaking and shit. It was fucked up.
You were fucked up, yeah.
And but after you cancel those plans, you feel like, oh, you're like so nice to have plans canceled. Then you cancel the next day. You're like, then the next day.
Now you're like, I want to get back out.
Now I have nothing to do.
Yeah.
Now I'm just bored. And then you start to feel that thing of like, this is my life now. This is who I am.
I'm stuck like this. I'm a boring person.
And you're like, I also thought about it too. I was like, maybe I could apply. I had this genuine thought of in like a NyQuil haze. I was like, let me apply for unemployment, and I was like, I don't even work
for a week.
Yeah, it's also
for a week.
Like, I was like, I don't have a real job.
Work. They go, when was your last day of work? You go, 2019.
Yeah. They're like, and also for unemployment.
That's so funny. You go, I better start applying for unemployment.
I can get my life on track. But it was very
Sick
funny
for 3 days
because when you apply for unemployment,
like, you better get on Social Security because this is it.
They asked you, they're like, what's like your typical take home? And they're like, use that as a multiplier. I'm like, how do you multiply by 0? I was like, what's the multiplier? What are they going to give me now?
Oh, that's funny. So, but also, don't you feel after like 3 days of that you're like, there are people who live like this 365 days a year.
And it made me so like appreciative of our jobs. Like we get to just be out meeting people.
It's so much excitement.
Oh,
it's excitement all the time.
It's probably, again, it's
and
not healthy.
There's times when 100% not healthy. And there's times when the excitement is bad.
Yes,
it is like the extreme emotions are negative, right?
I describe it to people. I'm like, it's like an abusive relationship. The highs are just so high, but the lows, you're like, I'll quit.
The lows are
leave.
Shockingly lower than you could ever imagine.
But that's what keeps us addicted because you're like, I at least feel both
It's exciting.
ends.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Just to feel nothing is worse.
It does feel, you feel very alive.
Yeah, and it made me feel really like grateful to be doing this full time. But then I was like, oh shit, if I don't have this, I'm just a blogger. What the fuck do I do? Like, what do I do? I just cut clips. Like, what is my life?
Like, then there are people that like that's their whole life. They work their job and then they just sit at home all night and like watch TV every night. I'm like, I strictly could not.
No, and we've also been doing this too long to go back. Okay, this is it. This is what we're doing.
You get a little envious every once in a while, like, I'd love just a one night off. And then when you get it, you go, for us, we can take a night off and live in that do nothing world.
Yeah.
People who do nothing can't take a night on to our lifestyle. You know,
it only goes
I want to be a rock star for a night.
It only goes one way, and,
right.
and we get to do the more extreme version almost every day.
Every day.
So to go the other one, like it's like a night off for people. Like, yeah, I take like a whole weekend off. I don't do anything.
And now for us, it's like I only had one show. That's a night off.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm in and out in 30 minutes.
Yeah,
that's a night
off. I did
off.
one spot in town. Yeah.
But it's great to be back.
We're glad you're back in the saddle.
Fully back.
People at the pod were really rallying for you. We got a bunch of fan mail.
Got a lot of fan mail, a lot of whiskey bottles, a lot of fan mail. We appreciate it.